I was with a sovereign wealth fund during this week, and that was the conversation. Should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? If everybody adopted that conversation, it would be 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 per Bitcoin.
Welcome back to the channel. That was Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, telling you that sovereign wealth funds are coming to him and asking, should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? And as you can see right here, Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth fund discloses 436 million Bitcoin ETF holding. So they were holding IBIT, and they put a 2% allocation. And this is just the allocation from their securities. They have more wealth than this, but when it comes in terms of their securities, they're only holding around 2% of their security allocation to Bitcoin. Now, think about if they actually bump that up to 2% of their total portfolio, not just their securities. They have more wealth than what you see right here. But then also imagine if all sovereign wealth funds around the world wanted to put a 2% allocation into Bitcoin. Right now, sovereign wealth funds around the world hold over $10 trillion. So a 2% allocation to Bitcoin would be $200 billion going into BTC. Imagine what that would do to the price of Bitcoin. Obviously, if you have a 5% allocation, that number is even higher. And you can see how this could definitely lead to higher Bitcoin prices in the future. And it's really interesting. If you look at the crypto fear greed index, right now we're at neutral, 41. We're just getting out of fear. People are fearful, and Bitcoin's price is almost $100,000. And my theory on this is people aren't actually fearful of Bitcoin right now. They're fearful because they're trying to snipe these meme coins, buy them at low prices, and trying to get the 100x gains. But the rest of the crypto market hasn't really been doing anything. People have been trying to gamble in the altcoins, not buy things like Bitcoin, not buy things like MicroStrategy that have been, just performing really great over the past couple of years. People want to hold the altcoins, and a lot of the altcoins have not held up. Bitcoin has outperformed them. So, people are fearful in the crypto market, which is really interesting to see there, that Bitcoin's at almost $100,000 and people are fearful, especially with all the bullish news of, the United States government wanting to buy Bitcoin. You have the states wanting to buy Bitcoin. You have sovereign wealth funds now owning BTC, governments around the world thinking about putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet. There's just so much bullish news. The president of the United States is pro-Bitcoin, and people are still fearful. That's actually crazy. But in terms of strategy, we closed on Friday at 337. If you need a place to buy strategy, trade options, you can do that with MooMoo. We have an affiliate link that'll be in the pinned comment section and also in the description below. If you use our affiliate link, you can get up to 30 free stocks valued up to $2,000 each. So make sure to check that out. And then from Samson Mao here, he says, MicroStrategy is probably going to rip soon. He says, just FYI, Metaplanet's MNAV is 10. And from a tweet that he made back in December, he says, it's almost 2025, but these are things that are still poorly understood. Bitcoin is undervalued at $0.1 million. MicroStrategy MNAV should be 10 to 20x. So thinking about that right now, where MicroStrategy is, the MNAV is 2. So if we went to a 10x MNAV, that would be a 5x from right now. So that would put the MicroStrategy price at around $1,500. If we went to a 20 MNAV, that would put the MicroStrategy price at around 3.3K. So that would be huge gains for MicroStrategy. And like he said in that post, Metaplanet's MNAV is 10. But we'll see what happens for the rest of the year. We definitely think MicroStrategy is undervalued here at 337. That's not financial advice. That is just my opinion. Invest at your own risk, but we definitely like the stock. And then to get into some more Bitcoin news, State Street and Citibank to launch Bitcoin and crypto custody. So this is huge. Banks are now getting into custodying Bitcoin. So this is going to be really interesting to see when this comes out, if they're going to be giving some yield, if you hold your Bitcoin with the banks. It's going to be really interesting to see how all this plays out. Will they be giving loans on the Bitcoin? So it's going to be really interesting to see, how these banks integrate with crypto, integrate with Bitcoin. And I'm looking forward to it. And I may be a user of some of these products in the future if they make sense and if they're safe and secure. And like I said, that's not financial advice. Nothing we say is financial advice. You may not want to use this. You may be a Bitcoin maximalist and never want to give your Bitcoin to anybody else but your hardware wallet. But if you guys have seen this meme, this is what that meme was talking about. What you're trying to tell me that I can trade my Bitcoin for millions someday? And he says, no, Neil, I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to, because you'll be able to go to the bank. The bank will be able to give you a loan on your Bitcoin. You won't have to trade your Bitcoin for dollars because Bitcoin is going to be integrated with the bank. So this is a meme that we've seen for a long time, and now it's finally becoming true. And then an update here from BitDeer. They bought an additional 28 Bitcoin over the past week. They now hold a total of 833 Bitcoin, and that's what they're holding in their own cold storage wallet. So good to see that from BitDeer. And then we have SBC Medical Group. They're announcing their purchase of Bitcoin. They bought 1 billion yen worth of BTC, which is around 67 Bitcoin. And they're basically saying they're going to be holding that long term to create value for their business. So another company just putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Definitely good to see there. And then Beat Holdings, they are committing an initial JPY 1 billion to purchase Bitcoin. So they're basically saying we're taking this step. We're joining a number of companies in sovereign wealth countries embracing Bitcoin's potential to preserve and grow wealth and possibly be the future of money. And that 1 billion JPY is around 6.5 million USD. So another company there just buying Bitcoin. The Bitcoin gold rush is definitely here. And an update on the Bitcoin strategic reserves at the state level. You can see how many states are trying to get these Bitcoin strategic reserves passed through law, and 3 of them have not passed so far, which isn't good, right? But I think we only really need to see one of these states put Bitcoin on their balance sheet, because I think once one of these states does it, and then the other states see how successful it's been over after a year, 2 years, 3 years, I think then other states will start to understand the power of Bitcoin. But we can see right now, we have Arizona, they're at Chamber 1. You have Florida with 2 bills that have been introduced. You can see some other states down here. North Dakota was one of the bills that failed. They failed in Chamber 1. Oklahoma at Chamber 1 too. Ohio has 2 bills trying to get passed. Texas has 2 bills here. And then you have Utah, and they're the furthest along as of yet, and they're all the way to committee too. So I remember this Utah vote for the Chamber 1 was extremely close, and it barely got passed. So we'll see if Utah makes it all the way. Well, really, we only need to see one of these states pass, in my personal opinion. Then you'll start to see other states become comfortable when, other states have done kind of like a POC. I think being the first state to do it is going to be the hardest part. But once one state does it, I think we'll see other states do it. And the reason why I say this is because I'm kind of comparing this to the legalization of marijuana at the state level. I feel like that was getting declined for a very long time. And then one state did it, which I believe was Colorado. And then you started to see other states start to do it. So I think we could see the same thing with the Bitcoin strategic reserves here at the state level. And then I do have a clip here that revolves around these two, Texas, the Texas senator talking about Bitcoin and why he likes it. So let's go ahead and check out this clip from him. That's all I had for today's video. Make sure to subscribe, like. We have new content coming out every single day, trying to keep you guys up to date on everything going on with Bitcoin, crypto, microstrategy, the Bitcoin proxies. Let me know what you guys thought about today's video in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and check out this.
That is the reason I love it. I want it out of government control. I don't want federal bureaucrats having control over it. And I think you're seeing people responding to what's going to be a favorable regulatory environment. I want Texas to be the oasis for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency generally. And we are seeing miners and innovators from all over the world coming to Texas to invest and create new jobs when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto.
Well, I would think it's a lot better than having the Federal Reserve. They talk about these central bank digital currencies.
Yes.
So this is like Hayekian currency competition, which I think is probably going to be a great thing.
Amen. Hallelujah.